Good morning, FlossTube. It's Chrissy, finally a farm girl. It is Sunday, September 18th, and this is FlossTube episode 61. Good morning. I feel very relaxed this morning, which is really nice. I can't say we have a lot of sunshine right now. It's a little bit overcast, so it kind of does feel like a fall day. We do not have a lot going on today, and I have to be honest, I feel like it might be a really good football stitchy Sunday, and I am all for that. I am happy to see that I have some new subscribers, so thank you so much for those that went back and checked and made sure they were subscribed. The giveaway today that I had from last week, where the word was planner, I will put the winner at the end of the FlossTube. That seems to work best for me. I'm sorry about that, but all you have to do is, if you are mentioned as the winner of any of my FlossTube giveaways, is just please email me at finallyafarmgirl@gmail.com. Okay, so I have some really nice news. I know a few weeks ago I shared with you that I had couple of biopsies done, and I am happy to say that I finally got the results, and they are both benign. So I felt that those were definitely answered prayers, and I have what they call a full body scan at my dermatologist in February, which is something I believe that is done yearly now. Anyways, so I am thankful for those that said some prayers. I had some nice messages on that, and those are not always fun things to have to do, but they need to be done. So let's see. This week, it was kind of slow. Philip had one unfortunate incident, and that was he has some sound issues. It's kind of like what you would consider to be on the spectrum, and so there are certain noises, and loud dog barks are one of them. So he was sitting on the edge of the bed. I walked to grab something on the other side of the bed, which is typically no problem when he's sitting, but the dog was real close to him and barked, and he kind of fell forward off the edge of the bed and got like a rug burn on his forehead. It's unfortunate, but thankfully it was carpet, so he's doing fine. But for a couple of days, we played it pretty slow. Head trauma like that can cause other seizure-related issues and sensitivities. So basically that meant we were kind of just chilling, and that meant I had some extra stitchy time maybe that I wouldn't normally have if we were busy doing something during the day. So for the most of the week, like I said, kind of just chilling out. I did go up to my local needle workshop, Brick City Cross Stitch in Ocala, Florida. I picked up my Expo orders, and I saw Linda, and it was my pleasure to meet apparently a subscriber. It was really cute when she walked in the door with her husband, and her name is Clara. So hi, Clara, and it was such a pleasure to meet you. She was there to actually kit up Matilda, my very first Matilda. And so that just felt really awesome to me. I think you'll hear Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, and even Brenda and Laura. Sometimes people will, they share that they're so excited to meet us, and we kind of just like, why? But at the same time, I am never going to deny the fact that, that is just such a sweet blessing and part of being on FlossTube. And so I was very, it was just super sweet. And I, shared a picture on my Instagram. She was on her way back down to Miami. So anyways, the timing was perfect, and I was so glad that we got to meet Clara. And I have to admit, I love your name, and I may have to steal that for a character or a stitch one day, because I just think it's super sweet. I do think of the Nutcracker. And I don't know, there's just something about it that I kind of fell in love with that name. So you may see that in a future design. I might have to steal your name, Clara. Okay, so who did I watch this week? Well, that's another thing. When I'm sitting like I was doing with Philip, I was able to catch up on some FlossTubes. So I watched Brenda and Laura. I watched the Bougie Stitchers, which, by the way, they have birthdays coming up very soon. Then I watched, oh, and it was so cool because they shared a finish on Abe's Parade, as well as Witch Beulah, really fun finishes. I watched Lovin' Stitchin'. I haven't watched her, I think I've missed a couple of her episodes, but she did a beautiful fall video up front of fall stitching, and so it was fun to catch up with her. That's Lovins Stitcher. I watched Welcome Stitchery. I always get a kick out of watching them. They have some beautiful work they do, but it's also one, they got a great backdrop because you get to see Justine's store, Welcome Stitchery. I watched a new one, and so I wanted to take 2 seconds to say, give a shout out to a new FlossTuber, even though he's been on YouTube for a while, doing something different. So check out Mr. Hollick, Hollick. It's a little different because the intro to his FlossTube does not look like it's going to be stitching related. So originally, I believe, I haven't caught up on all of them, but I believe he used to be a game reviewer on YouTube. And so he has followers. However, he's really needing some stitching followers to go and subscribe. I watched, I believe, 2 or 3 of his FlossTubes, and I will tell you that if you need someone happy, someone that is going to lift you up, someone that makes you laugh, go watch him, because he's fun. He says fun, like that's his word. We all have our word. I love that he just gets so much enjoyment out of this hobby. I believe his LNS is Stitch and Frame, which is still quite a drive for him, but he did a quick tour of his LNS. So check him out, go subscribe, head his way, and maybe, I believe there was a little bit of a gap in time between one of his FlossTubes. So I watched his most recent and the one before that. The tour of his LNS, it moves a little fast. So I think hopefully maybe we could encourage him to go back and move a little slower across the stitched pieces so that we get a better idea. But the store itself looks amazing, and that's where he gets his pieces framed. And it's fun to get a different perspective from a male stitcher. So anyways, I would love to send you in his direction. We've been working a little bit harder, I think, lately, FlossTubers and stitchers, at trying to get some, traffic to new FlossTubers. So this is where I'd like you to take your traffic this week and just, subscribe, hit the like button. And like I said, it's fun when you see somebody, it doesn't matter what they're stitching, as long as they are getting immense joy out of it, and he certainly does. So that was fun, and I will make sure to link his channel below. Okay, let's see here. I had a finish. I shared that on Instagram yesterday. I had 2 new starts, and we can go ahead and get started. I will probably think of things as I go through them, but I want to thank everybody for all the sweet comments on the new releases I had last week, and especially Matilda Goes to School. I guess I design things that just seem to resonate in my memories, or something that I just love, or a story or something. So it's not specific as far as it's hard to explain. But I love that you guys love that. I love that you love that I share the story behind the design. So thank you for those that really reached out about Matilda Goes to School and the background as to why I designed that. So I took my models up to Brick City Cross Stitch. So if you are local, if you're able to get up there, the new ones are, I believe, going to be up in the front, which that was kind of fun. And then I have on a hutch in the back, there's a couple of shelves with some of my older designs. So it was fun. Like I said, it was the perfect day to go up there and sit in the car with Philip. And sometimes that's the best thing I can do. And that shop is always just full of love for Philip. And so it just worked out. It worked out really great. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to share my finish first. I have been stitching, first of all, I love Lizzie Kates. I love them, I love them, I love them. I believe that if I could have all of them, I would just, I don't know. I specifically love the Christmases. So I have, from a purchase off eBay, the Lizzie Kate 2007 special edition I shared with you. I started this at StitchCon. I started it actually just a little bit before on him so that I would have some stitches in it for StitchCon. And when I finished my last piece at my dad's, which I go there, you know, and I still did on Wednesday. I do dinner with dads, which, oh my gosh, that was so cute when I met Clara for the first time. It was Wednesday, and she's like, "Oh, you're going to your dad's tonight?" I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet. People listen." So yes, I did go to my dad's, and I got so close that I ended up yesterday. I worked on it one more night. I had one day I did some pretty good intricate stitching during the day, and so at night I was ready for like this. And then I knew I was very close to a finish, and I finished it yesterday. So this is my finish. I still have to put one, I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. It doesn't bother me. There's a window here. I messed up on one stitch. I am one stitch shy, and there's one stitch between the whole border, and I was not going to have that be off. So this is reduced by one, which was where there would be a line in the window, and I'm really not bothered by it. So, oh, there, now you can see the snowflake. So I don't know what it's stitched on, but I do know that it came with all the floss, and the red is Cupid, and the navy's wavy navy, and oh my gosh, I love this. Now here's the best part besides finishing it. Every now and then, Hobby Lobby will take their leftover frames or custom ordered frames that the customer did not keep or it did not work out, and they will discount them down to 90%. And I'll pick them up, whether I have a piece in mind or not. So I had this, and I thought, please let it work, please let it work. And I am absolutely happy. I don't know, you're getting a shadow right now, but it'll sit to the front. But there we go. It may have a little more space than what I would like, but I think it's going to work out just perfectly. Now, of course, I'll have him measure it first, but I like that. And even if I had to put a fillet in there to kind of even get some more space, but I love the green with it. And I'm super excited to have a Christmas finish, and especially a Lizzie Kate. So that was my FO, which is fully finished. An FFO is a fully finished object. This is just a finished object. Okay, so that was my finish, and now I need to work on what I'm going to take with me next Wednesday. I can definitely tell you that Prairie Schoolers, even some of my own model stitches for myself, and Lizzie Kate's are definitely the way to go when I go to Dad's. So that was that. I stitched on, a second here, I gotta move something. I had a new start last night. Second here. On Erica Michaels' Scary Berry. Both Jennifer of Sweet Chaos Stitcher and I wanted to do our very first berry. I want to do I have a Christmas berry that Linda and I need to do, Stitchy Linda. So, and maybe Jen wants to grab that, hint, hint, so that we can all do it together. But I did give this a start. We started it last night. We were supposed to start it last week, and I just kind of wanted to finish up those berries not berries, the little miniature Halloween pillows that I did for, I think her name's Emily Call, but salt and pepper stitching. Okay, so this is what I got done last night. I am stitching this on 36 count fabric, 1 floss, over 2, and I love it. Now, I gotta be really honest, there aren't that many colors, and I literally just picked my own. And I had this color to use as the lily pad for Jeremiah, and I didn't use it on Jenny. So this is Hayride, Weeks Dye Works Hayride. So I changed that. So each of these tombstones have some back stitching on them. I got one done, but I am having so much fun on this. And I believe my eyes have slightly adjusted since I've been stitching on 32 count more. So this 36 count, it's either the fabric or it's my eyes adjusting or it's both. But it is, one second here, I pinned it in there. 36 count Edinburgh Gray Magic, hand dyed Gray Magic. And I had bought a fat quarter of this, so I can see more, but that is that. And all I did was I put it right in my same like fall, a little bit of Halloween stitching, smaller pieces. The one that's by Tammy Blaylock, and I still have salt and pepper stitching in here and my murky, and that way if I just want to pick up something quick, I can. So that was one new start this week. Put that over there. Okay. I think I did do sometimes I forget what I stitched on, even though I try to leave them out, but maybe I didn't. But I'm going to show you anyways because it's super cute. But this is Cloud Factory Wacky Witches and Stitches. This is another one that I am stitching with Sweet Chaos Stitcher. We kind of really love Halloween, like big time. So we're stitching this, and I will put some more stitches in this week. This is my progress. Yeah, I swear, I know I just was in the mood to stitch this, so I got more done on the house. Sometimes it gets confusing if I shared it on Instagram versus sharing it with you. Sometimes it just gets a little confusing. But, oh my gosh, the fabric is a little rough on my eyes, but I have so much fun with this and these fun colors. And so over here under the tree, I got my little green goblin ghosty dude. Behind him will be a headstone, and then another one over here. I had already had the witch, you saw that. So this is the start of the border. So every time I had a little scrap of black, I came over and added to my border. I added some more of the limbs off the tree, but I mostly worked right in there and coming off. So anyways, it's really, really fun. I have all my floss on Witch Beulah floss drop cards from the Crafting Bunny Company, which we had ordered some very special Americana charms. This was her other one, which I love. So that's my daughter Olivia. We had ordered some really special charms. She had sold it was a great thing, but she sold quite a bit at that first run that the charms went fast. And we had ordered some really special American Eagle charms. And so you should see those come out this week with the patriotic 1-inch bling that we had picked the pictures for. I know for a fact one of the new releases that I got from Twin Peak Primitives from Expo is the Patriotic Santa. There's a lot of patriotic things that I still want to stitch, and these eagles took a while to come in, and when they did arrive, she had already moved, so we had to get them to her, and they are gorgeous. They are really gorgeous and worth the wait. I cannot wait to see them with some bling, something very different than what I've seen before, and they're a good size. So, and I got a piece of floss stuck on this. So anyways, these are just super fun colors. It's a fun pattern, but the fabric itself is prestige, I believe. Picture this, plus prestige. I know I have it. Sure, it's on my Mirage. That's what I think it is. Let me get my glasses on because it's right here. I always take the sticker. This fabric came from 123 Stitch. And I always take the sticker that comes on it and I put it right on my pattern. It is 32 count Mirage Belfast, yes. So I will say that it is just that much darker than the other blue. That makes it just that much harder to see, and it's a 32 count, and I struggle more with this 32 than I do with the 36. Go figure. Okay. Let's see. Let's go through, I'm going to say one of the new starts in stitching for just one minute here, and I'm going to go through my haul. And it's not super huge, so it won't take too long. One of them has a story. I used to work, now you kind of know a little bit of the school background. And when I first was in ESE at one school, I worked in a TMH classroom. And I did that for a couple of years. And then when Philip moved over to his school, I moved with. And that's when my daughter Olivia went to kindergarten. And so we all went together. And then I worked, that job was a one-on-one paraprofessional with a young boy who was highly functioning autistic. And so really I was there for the entire first grade classroom, but with special attention to keep him safe and keep him on task. So in that classroom, I became very close friends with the teacher, and we just had a great experience together. You know, she was a young mom. I'd been a mom a little bit longer. I was able to help kids with doing certain crafts and things like that, and it was a good mix. And when she couldn't, when there were certain times that I would run the classroom, a lot of times we would go straight into story time or things like that. That's something that I love. One of my favorite books was Room on a Broom. This is what I read with Aria when she came to the sleepover, and I can't wait to read it again with her. I don't know if any of you have, you know, as a teacher, yes, you're going to maybe recognize it. It's been out for a while, but this is Room on the Broom, and it is by Julia Donaldson. And the artwork, I believe, is the one that's by Axel Schaffner. But anyways, yeah, pictures by Axel Scheffler. This is one of my favorite books. And I knew that eventually I would want to design something around the inspiration of this book and using my Witch Beulah. And I have done that, and I am excited. It's just one of those, again, there's a lot of memories attached to that classroom, reading this, and then being able to take what I learned, watching the teacher, watching the entire first grade team, and learning how you teach reading and what to fall in love with in a book. And so I know you didn't come here to actually learn about that kind of stuff, but it doesn't leave you. So this book is great because it has repetitive text. And when I started homeschooling Philip, this was one of the perfect books during Halloween to read, because for him, he needs to hear it repetitively. And that is how they learn, and that is how they see those words. And it is just a really cute book. So if you're looking for something for your grandchildren or for yourself or for your own kids, this is a great book. And eventually you will see a new design come out of that. So the pictures I will share with you are so good. I mean, because I like cute Halloween. And of course it's first grade, so it's going to be cute, but I mean, she's really cute. And as you move through the story, I mean, it is hard for me not to read this to you. Like, it's seriously in my nature to want to just hold this up and read it to you. And then there's a lot in first grade when you're reading that you use as personal experiences. So anyways, get yourself a copy of Room on the Broom if you have little ones around, and it's so fun. And so I needed fabric that would go with that design, and so I toyed around with two, and Linda and I came up with two ideas, and now I've pretty much determined which way I'm going to go. But let me get my glasses on so I can read the names of them. The first haul I have is a 32 count Lugana called Pumpkin. So there is that. And so what I'm looking for is, one, just to have it for Halloween stitching, but two, specifically so that instead of the stitcher having to stitch a bright orange moon or something big, or the sky, is I'm going to take care of that with the fabric itself instead. And then this is 28 count casual, and it's kind of strange, but it's hand dyed gilded. Anyways, I'm really very partial to this. I love the gold in it and the yellow, and I just feel like my eyes go to this more for what I want to design. I think all the colors would show up really good, and so I'm gonna have fun with this, and it'll be the first time I introduce a bat. So look forward to the next Beulah, and maybe go check out that book. I will certainly hope to get a start on that this week. Okay, then I got the rest of my haul this is from JBW Designs, and it's Melinda's Marking Sampler. This is my first sampler that I've gotten from JBW Designs, and we are still doing the JBW ornament sale. However, I think I'm gonna maybe get a start on this and maybe come up with a different hashtag for some of JBW stitches. So let me see if I can get that a little closer here. There you go. So it's just a nice small sampler. I like these because they move quickly. But that was one of the things I got from Expo. I also picked up from Brenda Gervais, With Thy Needle and Thread, Joy and Good Cheer. I do not have many winter. Get that glare off there for you. There you go. I don't have many for after Christmas. So, and I love the cardinal in this. I think this is going to be a good one, maybe for over Christmas break or the 1st of January. I'm not sure, but I love that, and I love the snowman. Okay, I told you I didn't go as much on Expo this time. I really felt like I put my money into, I thought more about my purchases, and I spent more on this book, which was completely worth it, by Teresa Kogut, and this is called Hello Halloween. I wanted it for the sampler on the front. I just felt like there was so much you could do with this. You can pull a witch for an ornament. You can do just the bottom. You can do just the top. You can pull a cat. There's just a lot you can do with this. But then inside, the quality, I would strive to one day, if you said, what quality patterns would you like to have? Oh, it's this. It's this. If that were in my future, I would love that. The quality is just something that is amazing. So there are 11 cross-stitch designs in the book. 6 are 2020 and 2021 Patreon designs. I don't belong to her Patreon, but I got to tell you, I am getting pulled in that direction. Anyways, so let's see if I can, I know most of you have probably already seen this, but I was trying to see if there was one that I could show you. This one, let's see here. That's not a huge stitch. I love that. I'm sorry about the glare. There you go. I would love to stitch that one up. I am not done stitching Halloween. I mean, we're not even in October. Dark October stitching is like knocking on our door. So, I love this. And I love the fact that here's one cool thing. You walk around with one book, one project bag, and you can stitch whatever you want in there. And I love that she shared that you could break that one pattern apart and stitch them into 3 separate pillows. Really, really cool. So I knew that it was in color. I just didn't want to miss out. And so that was my biggest purchase off this particular expo. And then Twin Peak Primitives blew my mind with, I am going to take it out of the thing. Hold on, I have a cat joining us apparently. Kronk, where are you going? Where are you going, baby? Hold on. If I pick him up, then he'll probably leave. You coming or you going? You going? Okay, bye-bye. This is the Kringle series Kris Kringle. Now, I about flipped a lid with this. See if I can get that in there. There you go. Look at that bear. Not only am I a bear freak, I'm a Santa freak, I'm a patriotic freak. I mean, and I say freak in the best of all ways. But what I want to do is I want to try and make him a stand-up, I think, depending on what he stitches up in, whatever. And I already know I'm going to stitch him on Jobelan Water Lily, which just has that hint of green. And I'm not even going to look. I know I have all these colors. So this is fun. This is going to be really fun. I know for a fact, even his beard and stuff like that, that I will probably use whitewash. I love the coverage you get from Weeks Dye Works whitewash on white. Oh, there you go. Is that better? Did I get it in there? I will tell you that Nerdan is incredibly gifted at designing faces. I mean, they're just beautiful. So I will follow the face to the T, and then any colors that I just happen to have, my patriotic colors, I will use. I love the fact that it had included, because I like stitching off a color pattern, a single page color pattern, beautiful quality. So I may make a working copy of that and blow it up, but I love this. And so I also know that this is something that my daughter's going to make some bling for with the eagle as well, because it's still patriotic. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what she gets out there this week. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I was trying to flip the bag, but sometimes you forget there's people with earbuds. The last thing I got from Expo has very quickly become my birthday start. So I will put a picture of the information of a sale that I am going to host with Stitchy Linda and Sweet Chaos Stitcher, her very first sale that she will be hosting. So we are going to stitch. Everybody gets to pick their birthday start. And so I am going to stitch, or we are going to stitch and host a sale on Witch in Her Garden by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. He's trying to get in the cabinet and so he can go nap. away from dogs. Kronk, come here, baby, stop. Okay, so the hashtag is hashtag Garden Witch Sale. Now here, let me just tell you this. Here's the cool part, guys. So I put out my picture announcing the sale, telling you who the hosts were. I had a little witch that's sitting over there that I propped it up on. Pulled out most of the floss. We will start next Sunday on September 25th, which is my birthday, and I turn 55. Brenda Gervais shares my birthday. I about flipped out. So one, thank you, Brenda, for, actually commenting. I thought that was so cool. I immediately called Stitchy Linda. I'm like, I just want to tell you I am a cool mama because I share a birthday with Brenda Gervais, and we are stitching. I mean, I didn't know that, and we picked her pattern to stitch. So anyways, please join us. I know a lot of people really collect her patterns just to even collect them. So if you have it and you're inclined to celebrate either Brenda's birthday or my birthday, bougie stitchers have birthdays coming up, join the sale, join the fun. She is adorable, and I don't have as much fall stitching as I do Halloween, and I think this one just fits the mark for both. So I can tell you that right now, Ginger Scholl is, she's on Instagram. She is joining in, and a few others that, have messaged on Instagram. I believe Raspberry Stitcher is joining in. She had to order her pattern. Tina, my good friend from Team Egner, she is joining in, or she's getting her pattern. I also am using her floss drops that I had shared before. And I shared the link on my FlossTube. Let me get this one around here. But anyways, I don't have them on yet, but this is what I have as far as colors that are called for. So I'm waiting to get the rest from Brick City. This is a nice fall bling that my daughter had quickly made up, and we just had a couple of square ones, but we were playing with them. So anyways, this is going to be fun. I'm going to go ahead and I'll insert a picture at the end sharing the details of the sale, and that starts next Sunday. So September is pretty much, it's approaching near the end a little bit. Okay, I'm excited about that. But it was funny. It was funny that I told Linda that I shared my birthday. Okay, and then, wow, we are really doing good. We are really doing good. I'm trying to think. I decorated almost all of that. I bought the pillow covers I've shared before. It makes it so easy to take my other throw pillows and cover them up. And I got it pretty much too cute to spook for the grandkids, and they're coming to spend the night this Friday night again. So I wanted everything decorated, so I did it maybe a little earlier than I normally do, but I wanted everything decorated and cute and fun for when the grandkids come spend the night. And so I'm having fun, and I feel like today's a good day that I might grab myself a cup of afternoon coffee and dive into my Halloween patterns and figure out what I don't want to miss, get started. Okay, one other thing that I want to do on this week for plans is pick out my next project for dinner at Dad's on Wednesdays. I want to get a start on my next Beulah that I shared with you, that design. And I would like to get some stitches in my StitchCon piece by Sue Hillis. I am getting down to finishing up the house, and then next I need to put the frame in. So even though I did not work on this week, I have it pulled out now, and I'll rotate it to the front because I'm getting close enough to a finish that what I'll probably do is I'll drop off my Lizzie Kate to get framed which will be nice and affordable, yay, because I don't need the frame. And then when I get this one done, when I go pick it up, I will be able to figure out what I'm doing with my StitchCon. Some part of me wants to frame it, and the other part of me wants to turn it into a stand-up. I'm not sure. I'm really torn. The fabric that I'm stitching on is a flax, and I had it, and I feel like it's so loose that I probably wouldn't pick it again for something like this, and I'm not sure that a flat fold would be perfect for that. So I'm toying with the idea of what kind of finish I will have for the keepsake StitchCon sale, but I'm excited to have it get close to finishing it. All right, this is, I saved this for last, and I wanted to just share a little bit of a story. I've already shared that I turned 55 on September 25th. And now we know I shared that birthday with Brenda Gervais. So cool. However, I also shared it with my grandmother, Olivia. That is my dad's mom. And so I've shared that that is my youngest daughter, Olivia. That is who she is named after. My grandma, Olivia, passed away when I was in 5th grade. So I really do wish that I had more memories, more time with her. She was incredibly graceful. And even though she wasn't the grandma that my mom's mom, Grandma Virginia, we lived close to them. So it was just natural that we spent more time with them. But we always saw my dad's parents at least on a monthly basis. We would go down for dinner and spend a few hours and then drive home. And they were down in Harper Woods, but we shared a birthday, my grandma and I did. And so every now and then it's fun when my dad, shares stories and tells me how he remembers how happy she was that day that it was her birthday, that their first granddaughter was born on. So I am the oldest on both sides. Okay, I wanted to, for Sampler September, I thought it would be cool to have this be design, an original sampler for Sampler September honoring my grandmother Olivia. Now, I've never designed a sampler. I have reproduced a sampler, but I've never done an original design. And I felt like even, that I wanted to do that, but I felt like it might be best if I had some personal interest in it to help me with it. So I started designing that, and it kind of evolved. Now, it's not a huge sampler, but I think it has everything on it that I need. And so my dad and I spent a good chunk of time Wednesday. He knew I was doing this, and we spent a good chunk of time Wednesday talking about it, and then I brought my design down. So I'm going to share that with you. There's no way you can stitch this by me showing this pattern. Sorry about that. But I wanted you to see what I designed and what some of it means. And hopefully you'll be able to see it. And then I did get a start on it. But it's not a hugely detailed sampler, and I still, obviously reserve the right to change some things. I think that's one of the nice parts when you do design something, that when you model stitch it yourself, you are able to make some changes. So basically what I have here is a nice, I love country things. So you have just a nice simple border. You have a cursive alphabet, which cursive I love. I have a few motifs representing what I thought were important in her life. She was, went to church, Methodist church. I loved that, she was married for 33 years or 30-some years to my grandfather. I'll have to get that exact amount. And then I wanted a lowercase alphabet. I toying with it being a green, a country green, but I mostly am thinking I'm going to all red. But it doesn't matter. I can stitch it however I want to when I get there. I picked the verse, "Be still and know." I can't ask her what her favorite verse was. And on her funeral, like what was at the funeral home was Psalm 23, and that's just so very common. And I do love that scripture. But I also am going to have this on my wall, and I've shared with you before that I try to stitch samplers that have verses that visually are reminders to me on how I need, the message I need to hear over and over again. And one of them that throughout my life is be still and know. I always have to remind myself to stop and let God do the work as I pray through it. Whether it's good or bad, or whether it's even part of the process of designing. There are certain goals I want to meet. I can do my part and he will do his part. And I just need to be still and know that he is God. And so I picked that. And I believe that that would match up with some of what I remember of my grandmother. She had lupus, she had severe arthritis, and I just know that it wasn't easy, but she never, ever complained, and she handled everything with such grace. Then I have two angels that represent, she had two children. She had my dad and my Aunt Nancy. So on this side are the initials of my dad and his two children. So Tom, and me, and my sister. And the last name's Danielson. And what I did was put our maiden initials there. And then over here is Nancy and her three children that she had. So her son and daughter, they must have been her angels, I'm sure. They had a red brick house. And my dad shares a story of when you look at the home today, which you can still see it, you see a tree that he's like, I remember planting that tree. So I knew I wanted to have a tree there. They had a little black dog, and I do remember the backyard. I can remember a lot of the house. They had one of those houses. My grandfather built it himself. He contracted out having the basement built, but he built this house himself. So even though it's not perfect to what it was, they had a detached garage. This is the house that I want to stitch using the elements that I loved. So this is their little black dog. Then you get down to her name, which is Olivia Johanna Binder. She was born September 25th, 1919, and she passed away in 1978. She married my grandfather Clifford Edward. That is what Philip's middle name is after, and my dad's middle name, Edward. So they married, so I put the symbol there for marriage, April 20th of 1940, and she married, and I put his initials here. This sampler honors her, so I only put her full name in. She also worked as she was a certified nurse. And I love that I could depict her as a nurse in the 40s and 50s. And then my grandfather was in World War II in the Army, and so I have him over here. And I'm not sure what other details I'll add, but for the most part, I loved that I could get a flag in. Okay. Whew, that was kind of long to hold up, but first, it makes me happy. And it makes me smile, and I pushed myself, and I learned, and I am really loving the progress. So I am stitching this on one of my favorite fabrics, which is Heartland. So it is 32 count Heartland. I think I'm gonna really like that size. And this is, let me move this out of the way. Put it kind of over here, the needle. This is my progress right there. So I really like, I had a lot of fun stitching her as a nurse. She had blonde hair, blonde curly hair. My daughter Olivia had she was blonde when she was little and had little ringlets. So it just was almost perfect that she was named after Grandma Olivia. So, and there's a little black dog. and I'm working on the house, and there will be some lines in the windows. But I wanted to share that with you. You know, I think it's going to be one of those, I don't know that other people would have an interest in stitching it, you know, and changing out the name. I don't know that people would have an interest in stitching it as an original sampler with my grandma's name. I'm not sure. You can comment and let me know. But either way, I designed it around what I would want to have, honoring her. So I think that's it. We're about 50 minutes in. I think that next Sunday is actually my birthday, and I think you're going to have a good surprise next Sunday. It's going to be a fun FlossTube, and yes, I will be doing one. You are going to have some special guests, and then we are going to head out to lunch, and I'm looking forward to it. I am not one of those that worries too much about aging. You know, I looked this week in the mirror and it's like, wow, I really got some wrinkles on my neck. There's just, you have a level of maturity and wisdom and grace that all comes with aging, and the things you learn, you know, I hope we can share them. I did have one thing that I wanted to share a picture of at the end. If you are a family with any special needs or maybe dementia in your world where you're caring for somebody, I bought off Etsy, and I did share it on Instagram, a seatbelt cover for Philip. And it's in blue, you can pick the color, has his name, it tells a few things that I would need any medical response team to know about him should I not be able to talk on his behalf. So it shares that he's epileptic, that he's, you know, nonverbal, that he may not be aware of what's going on. And it is one of those things that gives me a tremendous amount of peace. And I shared the link with many people, and I am so glad that these are the things that we need to share. There are no books. There are no books. There are books on special needs. But there is no book when you first go out there, when you learn about some of this, or even on Alzheimer's or dementia, that tells you how to be that person that has their own specific needs. Not one special needs situation is the same, or dementia. So whenever you can find a resource that you can share, you can bet that I'm going to share it. So originally, you know, I always had other kids in the car, and I always felt like, one, I didn't really, as a young mom, Etsy wasn't really in my world. But, you know, he had siblings that would have obviously spoken up if anything happened to me. That isn't the world now. I have grown kids, and it kind of was dawning on me that, you know, I'm in the car. Philip and I go many places, and if anything were to happen to me, and so when I think about aging, that's what I think of. I think about how I can better protect him as I age. And so literally I ordered that. It came in. It's fabulous. I'm going to order a second one for his wheelchair seatbelt. Lord forbid we be walking around and something happened to me. You know, you get to our age and you start knowing things happen. Things can happen. So the best thing we can do is just do these little things that can make us feel just a little bit more at ease should anything ever happen. So I will make sure to insert the Etsy shop and the picture of Philip, who he's very proud of it. We got to the drive-through and he was like, check it out. And that's what he does. If he has something new and we're going to Brick City, he's like, look at this. And it's hysterical. But he was very proud of it. And we had to take it off, unfortunately. Every shop we went to, it had to come out of the car until it died down. The newness of it died down, and now it stays on the seatbelt. But anyways, I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you'll join my birthday sale. Please join in anytime if you don't have the pattern. You can order the stock and the velvet in a kit through Country Stitches online. That is Brenda Gervais' actual website, her shop. I do believe she closes it down every now and then to catch up. You can imagine. But that is where I got the velvet, the stalk, and the little wood stand that it will go on. And other than that, go give Mr. Hollick a follow. Send some birthday wishes to the Bougie Stitchers. Anyways, have a great week. You know, smile. It's contagious. I love you all. And don't forget to floss. Bye, guys.